At the foot of the ladder, the limb footbeds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
With that single step, we left our footprint not just on the moon, but on the future of possibility itself. From silent orbits around Earth to dusty Martian plains, our machines now roam where our dreams once wandered. For them to begin wandering, our dreams had to start somewhere. And that wasn't in a lab or an observatory. It was in a classroom, in a story, in a spark. I wanted to hear from someone who helped ignite that spark in me. Because sometimes, all it takes to change how we see the universe is a single person who reminds us just
funny
to
because
look
I'm a
up.
biology major, so a lot of this wasn't ever really like on my radar too much as far as teaching it. It was always like I was going into biology. But I remember when I was younger, my best friend and I camped on top of her horse trailer, and we lay there and watched. We got to see like shooting stars for the first time, and I always remember just thinking that was like so cool. But then once I think it was at my second school, I had to do like a space unit, and then oh my gosh, just like from there it kind of like I just want to keep like learning more and more and more. And then even my previous school, we had an Earth and space course, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to fill a whole semester with space topics. But then it's just like the more I like read about stuff and learned, I just like, oh, it's just so awesome. And I think it's just fun because it is kind of different from like the biology, the life thing, and it's like space is just so, there's so many questions, and it's just kind of neat how all that progresses.
That early spark of wonder leads to something deeper. A realization that space isn't just science, it's breathtaking. Let's take a moment to just look. A moment ago, we were looking at Earth up close, alive, familiar. But now, we are no longer just outside its orbit. We've traveled nearly 1 billion miles away, drifting near Saturn's shadow. And from here, Earth is reduced to a single pixel, suspended in a sunbeam. That tiny dot holds every person you've ever known, every story ever told. And as the great Carl Sagan once said, that's here, that's home, that's us. But space isn't always easy to understand. To capture the pale blue dot, we used simple math. To explain gravity itself, we needed Einstein. Behind the beauty is complexity we're still trying to solve.
As my previous Earth and Space Science teacher, what do you find is the hardest concept to teach students about space astronomy?
I think probably just like the creation of the universe, because sometimes I always get concerned because that's always where you have to kind of ride that line of creationism and Big Bang Theory, because so many, not so all kids, but some kids grow up in the church and things like that, and so they've been taught that God creates the heaven and the earth, and that Adam and Eve are first, and this is how it was made. And so sometimes it's hard. You got to kind of like walk that line, and then just that concept of like all of a sudden having particles is a pretty hard concept for some kids to like wrap their mind around.
So, why do we keep looking up? Because every mission teaches us more and more about where we came from and where we could go. Exploration isn't just about curiosity. It's about survival. It's about progress. It's about the future.
Keep progressing? Like, should that be a primary focus?
Well, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
I'm interested, and I think the James Webb, that's the goal of that scope, is to try to, which that's a really hard concept to get kids to understand too, is to maybe get where we could actually see the Big Bang happen, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Because of how light travels, that if we like keep zooming in, we could kind of see it when it happens, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, of course, I would like to see us like get to Mars. I think that'd be cool. I don't know about setting up a colony there, but visiting like the moon would be neat, or even setting up like a research station there, I think would be really cool.
We explore because it reminds us of what's possible. And when we look back at where we came from, we realize just how small and how special we really are. Nearly 1 billion miles away, just beyond Saturn, Earth appears as nothing more than a tiny dot suspended in a sunbeam. That's not just a planet. Every person who's ever lived, every dream, every hope, every story, that's here. That's home. That's us.